Carp Anglers! James Sanders here from Team Fish Fighters.
And Daniel Ice from USA CARP and Bottom Feeder Baits.
And Bottom Feeder Baits. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a close call right there.
That was a close call.
You know, for those of you watching on YouTube, you don't know, but the people that got to see it live, you know, we did the 3, 2, 1. We started the intro for a split second. I said, oh, I got to record. So
yes.
There we go. We
remembered to record. So don't forget to record.
We're going to make sure that this one gets on YouTube. I apologize to Daniel Duke. That was my bad.
Daniel,
I'm sorry, we'll get you back on, and we'll make sure that we get you one on YouTube, brother.
Yes.
I take the blame for that one.
There's another guy, too.
I apologize.
I want to get him back on the show, too.
Aside from that, how have you been?
I've been great. You?
Yeah, I've been great. Got to go down to Dale Hollow. You know, for those of you that didn't see, I caught one of the fish of my dreams, actually. You know, a linear, or as Lee Hearn said, you know, he's giving me a little bit of hell for it, a half linear, but you know, I'm gonna count it as a linear.
A half linear. What is a half linear?
It's because it doesn't have that one patch of scales right there by the gills in the head, and so it just makes it a half linear. But
you know,
it's a wild American carp, so I'm gonna go ahead and count it.
I love Lee to death, but do you think? I mean, what does he not really know what he's talking about? I mean, no. I enjoy you guys' podcast between you and Kitty Mac yesterday. That was a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to, you know, bring the laughs and mesh well and, you know, give people a relaxing time. Yeah,
if you guys haven't seen this yet, USA CARP Guide, they got a podcast on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's just those two guys, and they just basically talk about carp fishing too. The tricks and ticks, or whatever, you know, their experience when they go to Dale Hall each time, and other things. Wow, I'm getting ready to go on vacation next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm in the debate. I'm thinking of actually going to Dale Hollow.
Oh yeah.
And but I'm just going to take my truck camper, and I'm just going to find a place to drive up to.
It should be fun. There's been a lot of people that pull, you know, a lot of good fish like that. A lot of, you never know, especially if you go somewhere by like one of the marinas, you could end up pulling one of them big girls out of there.
And then I started thinking about my buddy, teammate Dewan from Team Fish Fighters and Bottom Feeder Baits. He's heading to Michigan tomorrow. Well, the day after that tomorrow or something. So
okay, yeah, that's somewhere that, you know, I've only been up there once for a social, and you know, Michigan, they seem to tear it up there.
He went up there last week, and he just tore up some beauties on Bottom Feeder Baits. Man,
yeah, he had some real pretty fish. That one that was, you know, pretty much a leather, and it had that nice red color to it. Very interesting looking fish.
Shout out to Dewan.
Yeah, shout out to Dewan.
So
as well, shout out to Ben.
Oh my God!
Not Ben. Sorry. Shout out from Ben's Tackle Shack. Shout out Dave. I've got to ask him. You know, where does that come from? Because I always want to call him Ben and Dave's Tackle Shack and Ben's Tackle Shack and Dave, but I finally got it down. We got Dave from Ben's Tackle Shack in Massachusetts this week.
Wow.
He has if you guys haven't seen him on Facebook, he has a very interesting way to catalog all his catches. You know, he starts the numerical system, and so he keeps track of every single catch, it seems like. And I just love the way, you know, he has it seems like a journaling mindset to it. And the way that he keeps track and logs all his catches is very, very interesting. And, you know, it's almost like he could take each one of his Facebook posts like that and make a whole book and an album.
Very, very exciting. Even just going through the Ben's Tackle Shop itself and just demonstrating, you know, each product and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, it's almost better watching a football game.
Yeah.
Just listen to him talk.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring Dave on.
Hey, what's up, brother?
There we go.
Oh, you got to unmute him.
There we go. How you doing, Dave?
What up, brother? How you doing?
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Good.
Wow.
Good. So you had a question about where Ben's came from, huh?
Yeah. I've always wondered, you know. It's Ben's and your name is Dave, so is...
So I don't own the shop. Dan Kenny, he used to have Go Fish Dan on YouTube. Okay. It was a fishing show. He started the shop about 5-6 years ago now, and he named it after his son Ben.
Okay. Nice.
And I was working for Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, and we became friends. And before you know it, I had left there, and they asked me to come to work for them. So
Nice.
I've been working there since, and they kind of let me take the reins. They made me the general manager of the store, allowed me to, boost up the store, and that's how it all started, actually.
So he came in and he definitely saw the talent and said, "You're coming with me."
Yes, he did. Wow.
We have a good relationship. So, I mean, sometimes he's a little mischievous, he likes to goof off, and he knows I'm afraid of spiders, so he'll take pictures of spiders that he sees among the store and send them to me and say, I just saw this in the office. And he likes to, I have this, anybody that knows me knows I have this OCD about peg integrity. So basically, what's in front better be in the back.
Right.
Dan would like to walk around and switch things up, like 50 customers came to the store and messed everything up, and then I'll walk in and my anxiety goes up, and I'm like, oh my god, and I this got to be Dan, or he'll put a rack of brand new spinnerbaits in the middle of a rubber worm wall, and it just I lose it. So, it keeps me on my toes.
You sound like me when I'm in my little garage, and I got a couple of teammates that when they help me in my bait garage, and I got the same thing like you. It's just the little things will set me off, and Ricky and Dwan are both bad at it half the time. And so it's like, you're not stacking to the right way. I got to put all kinds of right rooms. No, you're not zipping locked to the right way. You got to zip, squeeze the bag, make sure you don't bust up. I mean, the sticker, the label's in the wrong spot. You guys are doing this all wrong. It's like, but yeah, I understand what you're saying 100%. So,
yep.
Yeah. I want to circle back to what you were saying about he really lets you get hands on and really pretty much from what I've seen run the shop. If I don't want to overstep my bounds saying that. With how much that you're able to influence and everything, you've come into our carp community, guns blazing. You hit the ground running. And you're like, I really, really want to be a part of this. Yeah, and everybody, everybody that I've talked to, they love you. They love your personality. They love what you're doing. What was it originally, that got you to say, hey, I kind of want to take a step maybe into this carp?
Okay, well. About myself, I've been involved with the bass tournaments, bass tournament trios, all over from the Midwest all the way to New England since the 80s. And I've owned 2 bait and tackle shops. I worked at Cabela's, like I said, Bass Pro Shops. I worked at another bait and tackle shop in Oklahoma.
Wow.
So it's been my life, bass fishing, fishing in general, but mostly bass fishing. And I took a couple-year break to, of course, follow my bow hunting dreams. And then when I woke up one morning and said, you know what? I think I'm going to buy a boat. My wife goes, I think you should. She thought I was going to buy a little pond boat. So, of course, I took off, and she's calling me, where the hell are you? I'm like, oh, I'm here. I'm over near Pennsylvania. Oh, I'm near New York. She's like, couldn't you buy this boat at Dick's Sporting Goods? I'm like, no, I'm looking for a bass boat and a specific one, So I ended up finding one. I bought it from a kid in Connecticut, Noah Wilson. And I got back into bass fishing. And then I quickly, I was, having fun with it, doing some tournaments with Ben's Tackle Shack and some of the other stuff. And I just said, I need something more. It just wasn't enough, So basically, the way I got into this was kind of screwy. I was asking some customers to write some random stuff. I said, listen, put something in this hat. Put a hat on the counter. I said, the next 20 customers, I'm going to have them write the most random crap and throw it in the hat. And whatever I pick out of that hat at the end of the day is what I'm going to do. Now, this was back, let me see, it would have been April. It would have been, I would say, March. Okay. Right during the Fishing Expo time because we do some fishing expos, and Dan from Ben's Tackle Shack actually put some on, and I want to talk about that after about something we got planned with that this year. Okay. But we at the end of the day, I reached in. Now, I don't know what silly character decided to do this, but somebody wrote European carp fishing. Well, what the hell is European carp fishing? No clue. So I pulled it out and I go, okay, so this is a joke, right? I thought I was going to pull something like bluegill fishing with 1 pound test line, and or something, just something ridiculous, Well, yeah, that was kind of ridiculous because I pulled out European carp fishing. I had to Google it, watched about 10 videos, said, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
Yeah.
I heard Fred Powers of when he was on your show. He mentioned barbaric rigs, and years ago we had found a place that was loaded with carp, and I actually still fish there today. Okay. And that's how we started. We throw a bunch of corn out, put a bread ball, wrap treble hook and a bread ball, roll it up nice and tight, throw it out there, leave the spool open. We saw the line taken off, we'd pick it up, and we didn't know better. We're just wanting to catch one of these beautiful giant fish, just so we can hold it up, take a picture, and put it back in the water.
Right.
So that's how I actually started years ago. But I hadn't fished for him up until now. But nice. I would say that my bass fishing, being in a bass boat, going around the lakes fishing, you get to see more. And I've observed carp, and I think that's a big credit to what I do now, because I go to these certain lakes. I'm like, hey, I know where the carp hang on this lake. I've seen them a million times. They like that end. They like that cove. Didn't know why they were there. I'm still kind of balancing that out. That why they're more than this other place, but yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much how it happened. Started watching some YouTube. Said, okay, I got to buy some stuff. Didn't know where to buy it, of course. Just kind of like Fred said on his, there's really no way to buy this stuff up till now. And then I went on Amazon, found some beepers and one of these rod pods, and next thing you know, I said, you know what, I'm going to put them on Tsunami Airwave rods, and I'm going to put some bait runners on. Well, I'm an idiot. I don't know how to use a bait runner. I'm a bass fisherman. What the hell do I know about a bait runner? So we get these bait runners. I promise you, I paired up with this kid that comes in the store. Great kid. His name's Rob Agbay.
Okay.
He's like a big goofball. He's like 6'25", let's say. Okay. The kid, he goes up into the sky. He's just there. And yeah, he's just too big. He's just too big of a person to be around. He blocks out a lot of sun too. So I said, hey, how would you like to go on a journey with me? He goes, why? What do you want to do? I said, well, I gotta start carp fishing. He goes, why? I go, because I made a bet, and that's what I'm going to do. So he goes, okay. He goes, I'll try it with you. There you go. I guarantee you, and Rob is a testament to this, the first 25 to 30 fish we hooked, we never got. It was like the alarms would go off, the boilies were in the mouth, and these fish were screaming. I'd pick up the rod. As soon as I engaged the bait runner, I didn't realize the brakes were on the spool. The fish would come flipping right back out of the water. The boilie or the hairy would come back at me and hit me, and I was like, Jesus, man, what does it take to get one of these fish, With the mechanics, we finally figured it out. We got a fish landed, and from there, it was like, I'm hooked. I'm going to figure this out, and that's where it started. So, yeah.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah. So what was,
it's a journey.
It truly is. And, I experienced, my own blunders of, had my hair rigs going backwards. So instead of turning into the mouth, every single pickup was turning outside the mouth. So, we all, I fondly look back on those rookie mistakes. I would like to know, you get your first not your first screamer, like you said, you've been in this a couple times. You get that screamer, like you said, you're probably with your buddy. You guys have this fish close to the bank. It's almost in the net. What are your feelings, as you're finally getting this fish European style going into the net?
Well, please don't get off. We worked too hard for this one. I remember the first one landed. I think I was really interested in trying to get Rob on his first carp because he had never caught one. Yeah. Like I said, in the past, I had gotten some fish in the past, but that had been like 20 years up until that date. So basically, we started April 21st is when I landed my first fish that I know of. So at that point, I said, I want to keep track. The best way for me to stay focused on this and not dabble back into bass fishing, pike fishing, or anything else I was going to do was to set a goal, set a number, and say, I'm so focused on that number, nothing's going to make me sway back because I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. So I said, I'm going to go with an unrealistic number. I said, I kind of poked around with some carp anglers in the area, and they threw out, if you could catch 100 carp this year, you're doing really good. I said, really? They go, yeah. I said, huh? I said, I'm going to do 200. They go, what? I said, that way I know. Listen, I'm one of those guys, if I set a goal, I'm 100 miles an hour right towards that goal. I don't want to go. So I have to set the bar high, and then I have to go for that bar. So all of a sudden, it got to the point where the talk was, Dave, you're 3 months in, you're 2 weeks from 3 months in, or actually a week from 3 months in, and you're at 200, 190, I think it was like 191. I needed like 9 carp to make the 200. I was only 3 months in. And I was like, whoa, okay. So I said, this is in the bag, I got the 200. I'm going for 300 now, So what happens, I went on a trip down the Connecticut River. We got down there. They had found a young man's body who had perished, and they were looking for him. And they actually found him near the island that we were about to go to fish the weekend and do our first overnights that we were really focusing on doing, like a real mini overnight, So we got out there. No, you're not allowed on the island. Can't camp here. So I think I spoke to Fred and said, uh-oh, I'm kind of screwed. He was with me. I said, this is the only spot I know on the Connecticut River. I've never fished the Connecticut River, and I don't even really know this. It was Doug McGrath from Carp Daddy who was there prior and was catching a bunch of fish and mentioned to me, you got to try this spot. Okay. So, I went out there and I got shunned away. We had to go out to Hatfield. I believe it's Hatfield in Massachusetts, the Hatfield area. And we went across to another spot, and we thought we were good to go until we realized we were on the locals' beach. They all started pulling up. Yeah, they all started pulling up with boats after work, wanting to go swimming, and we had our lines out. And it was rough. With 2 fish and the whole weekend. Didn't make my 200 by my 3-month period. So I said, okay, well, you know what? We got to move on. So, and so that's why I was dating and numbering every fish so I could keep track because I'm old. I'm 55. It's only a matter of time before dementia starts hitting me. And I'm like, what number is that? So, my wife's a social worker, and she works with the elderly, so I hear it all the time, So, and she likes to pick on me. So, that's why I number my fish.
Yeah, that's a very, I love your system. I do too. It keeps us engaged. I love, popping onto Facebook and like you say, oh, he's up to like 236 now, and it's very, very cool. I love seeing the progress that you make. Yeah. Have you ever thought of going back and actually, maybe creating an album or something like that of, it'd be a lot, but maybe all like 300 something fish that you end up with this year, and you could title it 2025 or something like that.
Yeah, each fish is numbered. Okay. Rob Agay, who fishes with me a lot, credit to him. That kid, I mean, he's given blood and sweat to fish with me. I mean, if you're fishing with me, you better be ready because I'm going to put you to work. And I'd say, I'm sitting there going, I'm too lazy. I'm too focused. I don't want to leave my rods on my pod. Right. But that spot right over there would make the perfect swim. Hey, Rob, here's a pair of lobbers and a saw. Can you go over there and just clear that area? The guy's over there sweating and just pouring sweat. He's busting his tail. He has made some beautiful swims for me and for him. I might even up a little amusement after he cuts them all down for me. But he takes great pictures, and he's recorded a lot of my catches, and he's been a very instrumental in keeping me, like he'll sway. He's a sway. Like today he's duck hunting. Tomorrow he's fishing with smallmouth. I'm like, I come and fishing. In my mind, I'm like, I need a good net guy, man.
Yeah.
I need somebody to net these fish. And he's like, well, I was going to go smallmouth fishing. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, okay, Rob, no problem. And so sometimes I lose my one of my favorite net guys. I got two that I like to work with that are pretty much consistent. I let the younger guy, Jake, take the rod every now and then and say, hey, catch a carp. And now he's starting to feel it, and he's liking it, and he's showing up more. Some of the guys that I'm going to mention shortly here have met him, and they all think he's a great kid too. He's a young kid, but he's new at everything, but he's doing really well.
Nice.
So I got to give him credit.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
And, shout out to you for, like you
yeah.
said, taking those younger guys, under your wing as you're learning as well, and, just getting everybody out there fishing. I think, we say it all the time here on the show. That's how we're going to grow the sport, is the younger generation, getting everybody out there, showing the kids, what wildlife, what nature is. That way, we could take our steps to protect it, and so that we have more and bigger fish to catch in the future.
Yeah, there was a bait shop here in Indiana that was big on saying, take a kid fishing all the time. Westside Bait and Tackle. Take a kid fishing. It's always been a good model also. So, but one thing.
One of my biggest things is huh?
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One of the biggest things here was when we started this, we watched some YouTube, and we were watching how to catch the fish, but there wasn't much about caring for the fish, catching the fish, we're standing up, the fish, we're not in control of these fish. And as much as we like to think we are, these fish are strong.
They are strong.
It's like you're holding a 3-pound largemouth bass. You're holding a 20 to 25-pound fish. Even a teener will slap you up beside your head and teach you a very valuable lesson quick. And here's some pictures, Rob, in action with the tail up beside my head, spit coming out of my mouth like I got punched by Rocky Balboa. And some of the pictures he's captured, I'm getting my ass kicked by these fish.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, if you would have asked me before April, am I an angler? I would have said, yeah, of course I am. The truth of the matter is, I don't think I was ever an angler until April 21st. I started to know what angling was. These fish will make you humble.
Really?
And I'm so excited about this sport. I just want I want everybody to hold a carp in the hand just once.
Yeah.
I promise you'll be back. You hold a carp once in your hand, you wrestle that carp, and we were fishing ponds at first.
Yeah.
When I caught my first river fish, oh my God, totally different fish. And now I'm actually hooked on the rivers. And good thing I got a good group of guys that kind of sucked me in, and they. It was weird how they showed up. It was almost like I'm recognizing these guys from pictures on Facebook, recognizing some of these guys on YouTube, and they're just appearing. And I'm like, listen, I got to be the luckiest guy in the world because I'm not a stalker. I'm not stalking these guys. I really ain't. They just showed up, and it's like, whoa, I know that guy. I see him on Facebook. He's got these amazing cars. I got to pick this guy's brain, right? Miles reaches out to me. I'm trying to get my first 20-pound carp. I was getting teeners.
Right.
I'm like, I gotta break that 20-pound mark. So Miles hit me up. He had stopped in the store a couple times to pick up some boilies from some vomit berry boilies from Carp Daddy, and I kind of didn't realize that he was as good as he. I just thought he was a guy coming in to buy boilies.
Yeah.
And then I started looking on his Facebook and go, oh, shit. I'm like, I'm around greatness. This guy is a very accomplished carp angler. Yeah. And he reached out to me and he says, hey, you're trying to get your first 20-pounder? I said, dude, I'm trying hard. I was out with, I took Doug McGrath to a spot that we knew some big carp were at. And we fished all night. I fished hard. I mean, we stayed on the baiting, everything. And I think the alarm went off once. Oh. And the first time it went off, I picked up my rod, and I said, "This is a different fish. This ain't no teener." I fought that fish, but I had sent the bait boat out at least 190 yards out because I kept on hearing fish splashing all night way off in the distance.
Way out there.
I said, I think they're down in that cove. So I sent the bait boat out, dropped some bait, dropped the boilie out there, and let it sit. And my alarm took off about 2 hours later, and I'm fighting this fish, and I get it in, and I'm like, yes, my first 20, I got it. We put it on scale, 19 and a half pounds. I was just, I went from here to here so quick. I'm like, is that scale wrong? We waited on 3 different scales, I believe. I was like, wrong. I wanted to be wrong. But Miles called me up and said, hey, huh?
It's got to be wrong.
Yeah, Miles called me up and said, hey, I want you to come and meet me real quick. I said, what? He goes, yeah, come on down. I'm going to send you a pin. He said, listen, carp fishing, we have our own spots. We have these spots. Just respect the spot and respect whatever anglers share with you. Yeah. And I'm that type of guy. Listen, I'm not going to bring everybody to your spot. I'm not even going to mention the spot. You can mention it to him. It's not my place. Yeah. I went down there. He says, throw over here, not that far, near that snag, and right out here, 30, 40 feet. Okay. 30, 40 feet. I'm like, what the hell? What do you mean 30 or 40 feet, right? Throw it out there. What do you think is the first one that takes off? The one that's off 30 or 40 feet. Yep. As soon as that alarm took off, he goes, reel in your 20, you got it. I said, yeah, right. And I picked it up. I'm like, oh, this is a nice fish. We got it was like 22 pounds. He got me on my first 20-pound plus fish.
Awesome.
Nice.
Listen, I'm not into hugging and kissing men often, but he got a big hug, and he almost got a smooch. I'm married, he's married, but it's talk club. That's what it was.
Man.
So
that's awesome. Yep. That's great.
Yeah, and
it's a great story. My whole path has been a great story with these guys, And
you're just starting, and you got the excitement in. You already got it bad already, man.
Yeah, and you're around, a great group of anglers, and like you're saying, you were in a tough spot, you were having a tough go of it, and then Miles reaches out and gives you a spot. I know. People have done that for me. I've done that for other people. And like you say, as long as we're all respecting the swim, as long as we're all working together instead of trying to work against each other, be happy for the other anglers that, catch big fish in your swim that you're also working because, they're putting bait into it as well. They're working it as well. I think when we get the sense of community, that's when everybody starts to really, catch more beautiful fish. And we get to share them with each other, which is, a lot more fun.
Miles says you give out great hugs.
I love that guy. Anyone that knows me, listen, I'm a loving guy. The love of this sport is, when you share something, a passion together, we're on the same bank, we're sharing these fish, we're stories, and we're making memories. And when you succeed at something, that person's your brother now. It's sure. Like, I'll call these guys and I'll be like, hey, what's up? I'll call Fred in the mornings and, hey, buddy, what's up? You need anything? You're good. Same thing. They call me. The best thing is that these guys are so helpful. If they see me screwing up, they see me. Fred walked over to my hook the other day and goes, I thought you used sharp hooks. I go, hey, dude, that's a sharp. you got a hook owner? I go, no, I just cut them off and tie new ones. And he goes, this thing ain't too sharp, Dave. So next thing you know, he's doing for rig, and he's like, okay, Kippo. And I now listen, I know I did. I started off with the Amazon rigs. The hooks were straightening out, but they got the job done for the time. Now we're fishing for bigger fish, and we're learning more. We're wanting better gear and stronger gear. Yep. And it's one of those things. Fred is the type of guy, he's going to walk over, he's going to check your gear, and he's going to call you out. He's called me out a couple of times. He's like, why is there a knot up here above your clip? And I go, oh, I put that up there because they said when it goes up, he goes, nope, that's a fish killer. Huh? Yeah. I mean, that's a fish killer. Get it off there, I'm like, why? So then he explains to me, like, oh, shit, clip, cut, retie. Okay, we're good. It's the things that I get caught up so much in the moment.
Yeah.
And listen, these guys can tell you, I love these fish. I mean, when somebody comes to the store and they say, "Hey, I want to get into carp fish," I'm like, before we talk about carp catching, we're going to talk about carp care. I'm going to show you what the mat is, what the cradle is. Let's talk about the net. I'm not even going to try to put fish and stuff in your hand if you're not willing to go with the carp care first, because you're going to be fishing swims that I fish in, and I don't want to catch a fish. We're not eating these fish. We're catching these fish. We are just trying to show people the beauty of these fish, how beautiful they are. If they're all marked up and scarred up and torn up, what's that's not a pig. Now you got to turn the fish over to the other side to try to get the best shot. You know, it's like, so like a lot of the customers come in the store, they'll tell you, you know, I constantly say, and I'm not perfect. You know, like I said earlier, these fish will kick the shit out of you.
They will.
You think that I'm in control of this fish, and it starts going. Next thing you know, I'm doing everything in my power to hold on to this fish so it won't get hurt. And you could be over the sling or not. Sometimes you're just not in control like you think you are. You know, so I'm working at it quite regularly. I don't think anybody's got more cradles than me. I don't think anybody's got more mats than me. I think it looks like a gymnastic thing when I lay on all my gear sometimes. You know, because at this point, and I mean, these guys are funny because they look at me like, how much gear do you got? You know, it takes me an hour to set up, and it takes me an hour to break down. A little bit more to break down at the end of the day because I'm always trying to leave that rod in an extra couple minutes. So, and that's when I get most of my fish, the last like 30 seconds, 40 seconds of before I reel them in. So yeah, it's been kind of humbling. But the Fred Power story, I'm fishing with Dustin, another gentleman I fish with. Yeah. A customer of the shack, he came in, he said he'd done carp fishing before, and we get out, and we're fishing up the Merrimack River.
Okay.
You want to talk about a little starstruck? When a kid that you're watching on YouTube and you're like, this guy is good, walks up behind you and goes, "Hey guys, you mind if I join you?" And I turned around real quick, and my jaw dropped, and I was like, all like a stuttering chicken. I was like, yeah, come on down, you know? Yeah, and from that minute, me and that kid were friends.
Nice.
About an hour later, we were brothers. And that was the end. I mean, we've been so close, it's unbelievable. And he continues to call me and say, "Hey, I got to swim," you know, try to keep it, you know, it's his swim. These guys can honestly tell you, Miles can vouch for it. The spot that he brought me to catch the 20, I've been back, I think, once, maybe twice. I called him and asked him, "Would you mind?" And he said, "Dave, go ahead." You know, I don't go invade nobody's swim. I'm not going to do that. And I would hope that people have enough respect not to do that.
Right.
You know, these guys worked hard to find those spots. That's it. Some of these guys get out of work, they don't get a lot of time. It's like after work, before I go home, I'm just going to go and hit the spot for an hour. If you've been there all day and they don't even know you've been there, it's kind of dejected when they get there and you done caught the one opportunity they would have had, you know? Yeah. So I kind of, you know, I'm not that guy, you know?
That's good.
So,
that's
but out for Fred Powers, Miles, you know, you guys have rocked it. Even Lee Hearn showed up to a swim down in Connecticut.
Jeez.
Oh man, I met the guy. 30 seconds later, he's kissing me.
He's that type of guy.
I said, "Hey, let's do a selfie and send it to Fred." I go to take a picture. I said, "Well, that ain't how you kiss a guy. This is how you kiss a guy," you know. And I mean, Lee has like right off the bat, "Hey, I got a spot. Hey, check this spot. I know you're trying to catch a fantail. Catch this spot." That's the camaraderie you sometimes don't get in other fishing sports. And I'm not gonna say it in a total negative way. Sometimes competition.
Yeah.
You can't share because these guys are fishing tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
Every weekend. And they're not going to share their spots with you because they don't want it to compete against you in that spot when it comes when it's money making time. Carp fishing, we're not fishing where we're doing these tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
These guys don't have to share that stuff, but they do. And they share their techniques. I'm catching these fish because off the backbones of other people. That's how I feel, you know. I've gotten better and better at doing it, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I I just want to thank those guys. Continue doing that.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that could get shied away from this sport because of the negativity. I would hope that everybody thinks of it like this: if you know somebody that hasn't caught one,
Yes.
get one in their hands immediately.
Yeah.
Because don't look at it like, wow, the sport's getting overpopulated. There's going to be no room for me. If that was the case, there'd be no deer in the woods. There'd be no fish in the ponds.
Right.
Try to build the sport, make the sport something. Connecticut's the only state that I know of that's got it listed as a sport fish now.
Yeah.
I think it should be a sport fish everywhere. So it'd be more respectful of it, And the only way that's going to happen is if there's more people doing it.
Yes, sir.
When people come up to me at the bank, and Rob can attest to this, I think Fred has seen me get a little angry too. If somebody walks up to me and says, "What are you fishing for?" and I say carp, and they say, "Why are you fishing for trash fish?" You want to see me go from nice guy to mean guy quick? Call that fish a trash fish in front of me again. A couple people met me on the bank, and they, and I can be very nice.
Preach it,
you call that fish a trash fish in front of me, I get very angry.
Yeah.
So.
Preach it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to make you laugh, James.
I love it. He's like, he reminds me of a Jersey boy. You on my turf?
I'm a true Bostonian. I'm a true Bostonian. I'm nice to the core, but
Yeah, I feel
mess with my
you're
fish and mess
passionate
with
about
me.
these fish.
Right.
And
I am.
That's it.
I really like what you say about if you want to catch the carp, first we're going to learn how to care for the carp.
Yeah.
I think and especially you being so new. Apologies, once again if I'm overstepping, but with your limited experience, I'll say that with carp fishing, seeing you be so involved with the carp care and seeing you take all the extra steps, to really preserve these fish when you do capture them. I really, really appreciate that because, like I said, the people that you teach will say, okay, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm supposed to take care of these fish. That's just the norm of what you do, as opposed to, some people that fish for them now, like I said, they see it as extra. Some mats are, okay, well, you don't really need a mat, or, the sling, well, you don't really need a sling. No, these are things that we do need if we are going to chase these fish. These are very special fish. Like you're saying, we're not eating them. We are putting them back in the water. So we need to make sure that they are not only going to survive this, but also thrive and be able to reproduce.
Right.
So I really do appreciate, your conservation effort, and it is going noticed.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because you can't catch a 40 if you killed it when it was a 30.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
I'm in search for a 40-pounder right now. I want to beat everybody wants to beat their PBs. Mine's 32.5. So
nice.
I'm right now. I don't need to be right at 40. I'll be good getting a 33 and work my way up. But you can't. If you want to catch a 20-pounder, there's got to be a 20-pounder in that lake, in that pond.
Yes, sir.
If you want to up your game, you've got to go to different waters. If you're fishing the same waters and you're catching the same fish, and listen, I'm stuck in that teen area of fish, the juveniles and the teens. You got to move on to a new body of water. It's constantly like a thing where I'm looking and I'm hunting. So this is the first year, and I think I explained that to you guys. I'm a hunter. I'm a bow hunter. I bow hunt. This is the first year in, oh my goodness, I'm old. So over 35 years, that I've not bought one hunting license for any state. I had 6 states every year.
Wow.
This year, I haven't bought a hunting license. I've been in the woods once. All my hunting time is on the bank at different places looking for carp. And I told him, I'm not hunting. I refuse to hunt this year. I'm hunting with a pair of binoculars, a loaf of bread, some boilies, some corn, and a pop rod. I'm out there, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm having a blast at it.
Yeah.
So
I like that, that you bring up hunting, and, it's nice to have a hunter on this podcast so that I can bounce this idea off you. I grew up deer hunting here in Indiana, and, it was something that I thought about getting back into before I got back into carp fishing. Before I got into carp fishing. And I find that, hunting and carp fishing, we share a lot of the same aspects. We're going out into the woods. We're searching for the animal. We're thinking about, staging areas. Where are these animals going to come through? In the carp's case, we're putting out bait for the animal. So I just want to know, do you feel, the same kind of twin flame between hunting and carp fishing?
Oh God. So
That's a lot.
yeah, it is. It's actually it almost makes you, when you think about your life and the path that you go through life. Listen, we'll go back to this.
Yeah.
For years, I had shot 4-pointers, 8-pointers, 6-pointers,
Nice.
10-pointers, 12-pointers, 14-pointers. Do you know the first time I saw a spike, I almost fell off the tree? I wanted a spike so bad because I'd shot everything else. I said, that was going to be a trophy to me.
Right.
And I always say, it's your choice at the end of the day what you just decide to harvest when you're hunting. Mm-hmm. I harvested that spike, and I had probably about 30 friends that said, your smile in that picture with that spike after it's like your 180th deer, let's say, was bigger than the smiles you took when you shot the 14-pointer 3 years ago that there was a 180-inch 14-pointer. It's because, sometimes I feel like you got to go back to go forward, and yeah. I closed that chapter of my life. I got my spike. I was happy. With the carp fishing, I find that I'm constantly hunting, and my eyes it's like my eyes don't rest, yeah, and I don't sleep well as it is. I very seldom sleep. My wife's watching this right now. She's probably saying, yeah, he doesn't sleep. Because my lack of sleep is her lack of sleep. Wow. So, God bless her. She puts up with a lot with me. I mean, you can see how hyped up I am. Imagine living in a house with this hyper guy talking about carp fishing every day. She'll roll her eyes, and I know, okay, I've touched a nerve. And she'll be like, okay, I maybe overtalked her ear off about carp fishing today, But she's been very supportive. She knows that there's days I go out, the gear's in the hover, but it ain't being used. Yeah. I'm out there. I'll start off, I'm going fishing, but then I'm like, I'm going to go check out this piece of water I seen a month ago. And I put a pin on it. And I'll drive out there, and next thing you know, I'm not even caring about the rods. I want to watch the fish. I want to observe the fish. I'm looking at them. I'm watching their behaviors, where they shift throughout the day. Sometimes I'm there 6-7 hours. My wife might think I'm fishing. I'm actually hunting. I'm literally watching these fish, watching where they stage from the sun, the way the sun was coming down the water. When did the bigger fish move into that flat? Where was it juveniles first? And in most cases in Massachusetts, we can see on a sunny day, we can see these fish on these flats and stuff. Wow. I always assumed that these fish were 5 feet and less of water. I never expected that these fish were running 40 feet of water, 30 feet of water, and these channels and stuff like that. It wasn't until recently that I figured all this out, and it was like Fred and these guys fishing with Copy Commando, and I'm like, wait. Fred's like, yeah, I was throwing in the channel. How deep? Oh, like 50 feet of water. Like, what? I'm like, and he's like, oh yeah, you got to. And I know he ain't BSing me. I mean, Fred ain't going to tell you something that ain't true.
Right.
And now he's got me going, I need to fish deeper water. So, I'm learning a lot. And since April, this has been a hurdle and a marathon. Yeah. And this is the one thing I like about this sport. When it comes to the tournaments, it's not an 8-hour trip and you're done and you're going home to your wife and kids.
No, sir.
It's your longevity. The longer you to go through the marathon of a 4-day fishing a tournament, a 7-day. I haven't done one yet, but next year, I'm that guy.
I can see
give
that
me a month. I'll pay a month. You know,
Yeah.
my wife might divorce me, but listen, I want to do the longest tournaments, the hardest tournaments. I'm a survivalist. I go in the woods. I don't bring a weapon. I go out there and I just live off the land. I've done it for weeks at a time. So to go and do something with the longevity of this is a godsend of a sport. I wish they would take bass fishing and say, hey, this ain't a one-day tournament or a two-day. You stay on your boat. You don't leave, you know, and you're going for a 3-week trip, and you're on your boat, you know. And it makes the sport so much more fun. I am so excited
Yes,
about
sir.
fishing my first tournament next year. I don't know which one I'm going to do, but I'm game. You know.
Yeah,
You know.
I just had my first tournament here in New York a couple weeks ago, and I tell you, it is
No, I'm
exactly.
following you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, you know, it's everything that you're saying, man. It's the longevity. You know, it's that grind. It's you know, who has the most grit. You know, as you're catching these fish, who can keep putting that bait out. You know, who can sleep in their chair for 10 minutes at a time and then get up when those fish are screaming. You know, it is a whole lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you in those next year. Hopefully, I could get out there and hopefully we could do battle on the bake together. I really think that. You know, with your mindset, the things that you are saying already, you've been carp fishing since April, but the things that you are saying already,
soaking up like a sponge.
yeah, your skill set is going to just skyrocket. You are going to be a great carp angler. I can already tell.
Yeah, we can see that.
I do want to bounce back to something that you were saying earlier, because we do only have about 10 minutes left in the podcast. You were saying,
and I want to cover some of that.
You were saying that you have some fishing expos and shows and things like that. If you wanted to talk about those,
right? So we have the Northeast Fishing Expo. It's held in Marlborough, Massachusetts each year. Dan Kenny from Ben Stapishak, he actually is the promoter of them. He does a couple each year. This year we're doing something special. We're doing a carp row. So there's going to be an area for anybody who wants to set up a booth at this show. If you reach out to Dan Kenny at Ben Stapishak, it's going to be January 30th, 31st, and February 1st. We're hoping to listen, this is the only way we're going to get carp fishing on the map on a regular place. We need these companies to come to the show, set up a booth. It's for the weekend. We're going to do a good rate for the weekend. But we're going to set up a carp row. We're going to have some guys doing some shows, some speaking, some seminars. Fred Powell's already committed, said he would like to do some stuff there.
Nice.
So I'm trying to get some people down there. I'd like to see the American Carp Society there. I'd like to see CAG there. I'd like to see these guys that are the stepping the ladder of the carp force. You know, I need to see those guys out there. I'd love to see them at the show. I think the more it's in somebody's face, the more they realize this is a thing and it's not going away. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't go away, because I'm going to ground and pound on this thing. I want everybody to know that this carp thing is real. Yeah. It's not something that's here today and gone tomorrow. When Dan gave me the okay, and I said, Dan, I want to put carp stuff. We need to sell carp stuff. I want this stuff in people's hands. And he said, green light. I went 100 miles an hour, and I've been going. I've been grinding. It started with a little rack to a little piece of a wall to a wall, and now a corner, and now he's basically let me bleed right down through a wall of that room. And it's growing, but you know, we're not selling bags of rubber worms. We're talking, you need a lot of space to put slings and to put cradles and the alarms, glass fuel cases with reels and this, you know. So the store's growing. And I can say this, thank you to the carp guys who have been backing us and coming into the shack. We appreciate you, because you want to know what? If the seals ain't there, the stuff isn't going to be there.
Right.
So for the store to grow, these guys have been coming in faithfully and buying and buying and buying. I know for myself that the carp sales have saved a portion of this store in a huge way. You know, we do a lot of great business. We sell a lot of gear. We supply the bass fishermen of New England wholeheartedly. We do the Ben Stapishak bass tournaments and so forth. And that's another thing. Get ready for it, because I am planning, and I got Dan's best wishes on this thing. and blessings, we are going to have Ben's Tackle Shack carp tournaments, and we're planning on it now. And
There we go.
Working, I'm working with. I'm talking to Fred, Miles, all these guys that put on this stuff before. They got to teach me, but I promise you, we're going to put on some venues. Hopefully, start next year.
Let me just give you an idea. There's a bait shop, Westside Bait and Tackle. I talk about it dozens of times. It's closed down. The owners, it was around for almost 50 years. It's a family-owned business, and then they just about 5 years ago they closed down. But Jim Donlin, he always started a tournament trail. You know, they call it the Hoosier Carper Tournament Trail. Carp fishing. Carp fishing just blew up in this bait shop like crazy. Somebody showed these little gadgets. Everybody got interested. You know, all this. You know, the alarms, all the bells and whistles, the rods. You know, it was great, and it just everybody started coming into it. You know, you put your work into it. You know, you build it, and they come. But he took it another notch up higher, and he actually did these little tournament trails where all these carp anglers got together. They picked a certain lake around that same state, and they fished it. And they had a little social. You know, they gave out. You know, the owner gave out a couple, maybe 2-3 medallions, or little trophies. You know, who got first, second, or biggest fish, whatever. And it just grew so big. You know, and that brought more business to his store because those anglers were attracted to that stuff, and it brought a tight family community together. And that's where for me, that's where my heart and soul started from, is from Westside Bait and Tackle, Jim Donlin. To me, he was the godfather here in Indiana. He's got the whole carp community blown up, and I try to keep that tradition going. And I got 2 tournaments that I do off of White River that he started it, and I try to keep that legend going, even to the Carp Expo, which used to be called a carp chili meat. Meat, not meat. MEET. but yeah, it was great.
No, I'm excited. It's going to happen. I know we only got a couple minutes, real quick. I if you don't mind if I do a couple shout outs.
No,
James,
please do. Yeah,
because your bottom feeder baits, that stuff, man. I'm telling you, I had to bring in some of my own private supply into the shack because it ripped off the shelves. I can't wait to get the rest of your stuff in there. We're going to have a blast with this upcoming season.
Yeah,
I want to say, American Carp Society, God bless you guys. Thank you so much. CAG, you guys are great.
Yep.
Everybody should look at becoming a member of those groups.
Yep.
We got to support those guys. Brandon from Carpy Commando.
Yes.
What a nice guy. Reaching out to me. I'm going to be carrying Carpy Commando stuff at Ben's Tackle Shack.
Nice.
Awesome.
I think I want everybody to have a Carpy Commando shirt on. If you're a carp fisherman, you should be supporting these things. I know everybody wants to. Listen, I'm still waiting for a Team Fish Fighter sweatshirt.
We'll bring it. Matter of fact, I'll have one. What's your size?
Man.
What's your size?
Huh?
What's your size?
I'd be happy with a XL.
All right.
Got it. But
I said to
Danny Irish, thank you.
The bottom feeder baits. It's something. Man, it is something. It's I used it from my own local shop before I even knew any of these guys, and I was right there with you. I was like, man, the way that this stuff works, this is what I'm using. So I appreciate you as a member for Bottom Feeder Baits. I appreciate you using it. I appreciate you getting it into the shop, and like you said, it does fly off the shelves. Like you had to dip into your own supply, and that's
it's like a fine.
I was not happy about it. Trust me. But customers are coming and saying, "You guys are all out. You don't have any," and I'm bringing bags in every day. I go into work and bringing like 6 bags of my own stuff in. I'm like, okay, this is taking into my catch now. Okay, but like I said, I thank all you guys. All these companies that have been reaching out to me, sending me out some of their baits to try out. I'm gonna try to carry more baits next spring. Looking at Carp Max. We're looking at Mike's carp baits. I've been trying some of his stuff. He's got some good stuff there too. So if you're interested in getting some of your stuff into the fence tap check, reach out to me. I'm interested in taking a look at it, see what you got. And, we want to build this part of the store. So, I'm more than easy guy to work with, So, we're going to do good stuff and supply all the people of New England with carp gear.
Sounds like you're going to extend your store a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a bigger store. Oh, man, we lost him again. Are you Jimmy? Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
What's going on? It shouldn't be us, but I can try it.
We got to go. It's 9 o'clock.
Yes. Before we do go, I just want to, say thank you for coming on to the show.
Heck yeah.
We loved you having as a guest. I want to get you on here again. I feel like we haven't even covered half the stuff that we could cover with you. I feel like you got a lot more stories, a lot more to talk about the tackle shop.
Heck yeah.
And I appreciate, when you did draw that little thing that said European carp fishing. I appreciate you for jumping into it, and not going, carp? I'm not going to fish for carp.
No.
As you can tell, man, it's quite a world out here. I can't.
It's going to get bigger.
Best fishing decision I ever made. Best fishing decision I ever made. I will never wait. I just came back from vacation. I had a chance to go marlin fishing, grouper fishing, and tuna fishing. I declined. I said, nope. If it ain't eating a boilie off the bottom of the lake, I'm not interested. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. I didn't go all weekend. All week.
That's crazy. Yeah, I love the passion. And like I said,
Yeah.
We're going to get you on an episode again here soon because you're going to have a lot more to talk about, I can already tell. But thank you for your time this evening, and we loved having you.
God bless you guys.
Very, very good guest.
I'm always praying for you guys. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too, brother. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. I loved him as a guest. For those of you that didn't know before the pre-show, he was saying, I'm nervous, and then as soon as we go live, he's like, I'll take it from here, guys. I know exactly what to say.
I didn't really even have to ask him a question.
I know he was a great guest. He's a great, the conversations that I've had with him before. Not only is he a great guest, but he's a great man. Like he say, he would really, really like to grow this sport.
I see that too.
He came into it. He had people open their arms up to him, and he was like, "Okay, then I'm gonna open up my arms to everybody."
I'm just putting it out there. He inspired me more. Just listen to him, you'd be doing this for a long time, 15, 20 years, and you just keep on going. It's like, all right, carp fishing again, here we go, but it's just like, I had that fire one time.
Yeah.
I had that fire. I knew. I loved it. He probably just rekindled it.
Awesome.
More. Yeah.
I like hearing that.
So, all right. That's
well, thank you for everybody that stayed for the show. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Carp Angler, Big Money Beepers, Team Fish Fighters, Carp Beat Commando, Carp Angler Group, USA CARP Guide, and as always, Bottom Feeder Baits.
Bottom Feeder Baits.
I've been Daniel Irish from USA CARP Guide and Bottom Feeder Baits.
And James Sanders from Team Fish Fighters, Bottom Feeder Baits.
Thank you for watching. Practice safe carp care, and as always, tight lines.
Later, guys. Thanks for watching.